What if I told you that discipline isn't something you're born with? What if the most disciplined people you know aren't relying on willpower or motivation at all? After studying elite performers across different fields, from Navy SEALs to Olympic athletes to self-made entrepreneurs, I discovered something that will change how you think about discipline forever. Highly disciplined people don't have more willpower than you. They have better systems. Here's the truth that nobody talks about. Discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do hard things through sheer willpower. It's about creating habits and systems that make the right choices automatic. The most disciplined people you know rarely feel like they're struggling because they've built their lives in ways that eliminate the need for constant willpower. Think about someone you consider highly disciplined. Maybe they wake up early every day, exercise consistently, eat healthy, and accomplish their goals with what seems like effortless consistency. You probably think they have superhuman self-control. But here's what's really happening. They've installed 7 specific habits that make discipline feel natural instead of forced. I used to believe I just wasn't a disciplined person. I'd start strong with new goals, full of motivation and determination. But within days or weeks, I'd fall back into old patterns. I thought something was wrong with me, that I lacked the character or strength that disciplined people had. I was completely wrong about how discipline actually works. Then I discovered these 7 habits used by the most disciplined people in the world. I realized they weren't superhuman. They were just operating with a completely different system. When I implemented these habits, everything changed. The things that used to require enormous effort became almost automatic. The goals I used to struggle with became achievable. I didn't develop more willpower. I developed better habits. The beautiful thing about these 7 habits is they work for anyone, regardless of your current level of discipline. You don't need to already be disciplined to start. You just need to understand how discipline actually works and implement the systems that make it sustainable. But here's what most people get wrong. They try to use discipline to change everything at once. They want to wake up early, exercise daily, eat perfectly, work harder, and transform their entire life starting Monday. By Wednesday, they're exhausted and back to old habits. This approach fails because it depletes your limited willpower reserves immediately. These 7 habits work differently. They're designed to reduce the need for willpower, not increase it. They create environments, routines, and systems where the disciplined choice is also the easy choice. They work with your brain's natural tendencies instead of fighting against them. Some of these habits will surprise you because they contradict popular advice about discipline and self-control. But they're proven by research and demonstrated by people who've maintained extraordinary discipline for decades, not just days or weeks. If you're tired of starting and stopping, if you're ready to build real lasting discipline that doesn't require constant motivation, subscribe right now because what I'm about to share will transform your relationship with self-control forever. Habit 1. The identity-first approach. The first habit of highly disciplined people is what I call the identity-first approach. Instead of focusing on what they want to do, they focus on who they want to be. They don't say, "I want to exercise more." They say, "I'm becoming someone who exercises daily." This subtle shift changes everything. When your discipline is tied to identity rather than outcomes, it becomes self-reinforcing. Every disciplined action becomes evidence of who you are, not just what you're trying to achieve. You're not forcing yourself to do hard things, you're simply acting in alignment with your identity. James, an entrepreneur who struggled with consistency, made this shift. Instead of, "I need to wake up early," he told himself, "I'm someone who owns their morning." This identity-based approach made waking up early feel like a natural expression of who he was, rather than a battle against his nature. Within weeks, it became automatic. The key is choosing your identity carefully, then letting every small action reinforce it. When you act consistently with your chosen identity, your brain starts believing it's true, and discipline becomes part of who you are rather than something you have to do. Habit 2. The environment design. The second habit is environment design. Highly disciplined people understand that your environment is stronger than your willpower. Instead of relying on self-control, they design their surroundings to make good choices automatic and bad choices difficult. If they want to read more, they place books everywhere and hide their phone. If they want to eat healthy, they remove junk food from their home entirely. If they want to exercise, they lay out workout clothes the night before. They're not more disciplined. They've just eliminated the need for discipline by engineering their environment. Research shows that willpower is a limited resource that depletes throughout the day. Every time you resist temptation, you use some of that resource. But when you design your environment correctly, you're not resisting anything. The right choice is simply the easiest choice available. Sarah discovered this when she struggled to stop snacking at night. Instead of using willpower to resist chips in her pantry, she simply stopped buying them. No chips in the house meant no willpower required. She replaced that snack with pre-cut vegetables in the fridge. The disciplined choice became the convenient choice. Habit 3. The non-negotiable anchor. The third habit is establishing what I call a non-negotiable anchor. This is one keystone habit that you do every single day, no matter what. Rain or shine, motivated or not, busy or free, you do this one thing without exception. This anchor habit creates momentum that spills into everything else. When you prove to yourself that you can maintain one non-negotiable commitment, it builds the confidence and consistency that makes other discipline easier. It's like a daily proof of your reliability to yourself. The anchor doesn't need to be big. It could be 5 minutes of meditation, writing 1 page, doing 10 push-ups, or reading 10 pages. The size matters less than the consistency. Never missing is more important than going big. Habit 4. The immediate consequence system. The fourth habit of highly disciplined people is creating immediate consequences for their actions. They understand that humans are wired to respond to immediate feedback, not delayed rewards. So they build systems that provide instant consequences, both positive and negative. This could mean having an accountability partner who gets notified immediately when you skip a commitment, or using apps that lock your phone if you exceed screen time limits, or putting money in a jar every day you complete your goal, which you can see growing. The key is making consequences immediate and visible rather than distant and abstract. Mark struggled with waking up early until he created an immediate consequence. If he hit snooze, he had to donate $20 to a cause he opposed. The thought of funding something he disagreed with was more immediate and painful than the abstract benefit of waking early. He never hit snooze again. Delayed consequences, even significant ones, rarely change behavior. A heart attack in 20 years doesn't stop someone from eating poorly today, but immediate visible consequences, even small ones, create powerful behavior. Change because your brain can't ignore immediate feedback. Habit 5. The decision elimination protocol. The fifth habit is using decision elimination. Highly disciplined people reduce the number of decisions they need to make by creating rules, routines, and systems that automate their choices. Every decision requires mental energy, and decision fatigue destroys discipline by the end of the day. They eat the same breakfast every day, wear similar clothes, follow the same morning routine, and automate as many choices as possible. This isn't about being boring. It's about preserving mental energy for decisions that actually matter. They're strategic about where they spend their decision-making resources. Steve Jobs wore the same outfit daily. Obama had his suits pre-selected. These weren't quirks, they were strategic decisions to eliminate trivial choices and preserve willpower for presidential decisions. When you eliminate 20 small decisions, you have energy for the important ones. Create rules that eliminate decisions. I always exercise at 6 a.m. means you never decide whether or when to exercise. I never eat dessert on weekdays means you never decide whether to have dessert at dinner. Rules eliminate the need for discipline in the moment. Habit 6. The recovery ritual. The sixth habit that surprised me most is that highly disciplined people are obsessive about recovery rituals. They understand that sustainable discipline requires regular rest and renewal. They schedule downtime, protect their sleep, and deliberately recharge their willpower reserves. Most people think discipline means pushing through constantly, but that leads to burnout and failure. True discipline includes knowing when to rest. Elite athletes schedule recovery days. Top performers protect their sleep. Successful entrepreneurs take real breaks. They're disciplined about rest because they know it's essential for sustained performance. Build recovery into your schedule as seriously as work. A weekly rest day isn't lack of discipline, it's strategic recovery that enables 6 days of disciplined performance. Sleep 8 hours. Not because you're lazy, but because you understand that rested people have dramatically better self-control. Habit 7. The progress tracking system. The 7th and final habit is maintaining a progress tracking system. Highly disciplined people measure and monitor their consistency obsessively. They track their habits visually, creating chains of successful days that they're motivated to maintain. This could be as simple as marking an X on a calendar for every day you complete your habit, creating a visual chain you don't want to break, or using apps that track streaks, or keeping a journal where you record daily wins. The specific method matters less than having a visible record of your consistency. The psychological power of tracking is profound. When you can see your streak of consistent days, breaking it becomes painful. You've invested so much in that chain that maintaining it becomes more important than how you feel in any given moment. The streak itself becomes motivation. Lisa used this for her writing habit. She put a calendar on her wall and marked every day she wrote, even if just for 5 minutes. After 2 weeks, seeing that unbroken chain of X marks made her determined never to break it. She's now written every day for over 500 consecutive days, not through willpower but through the power of visible progress. The transformation these 7 habits create is extraordinary. Before implementing them, most people rely on motivation and willpower, which inevitably fail. They start strong but can't maintain consistency. They feel like discipline is a constant struggle, requiring enormous effort just to do basic things they know they should do. After mastering these habits, discipline becomes almost effortless. The right choices happen automatically because of identity, environment, and systems rather than willpower. There's no internal battle because the discipline path is also the path of least resistance. Consistency becomes normal, not exceptional. But here's the critical truth. You don't need to implement all 7 habits at once. That would be the opposite of disciplined thinking. Start with 1. Maybe choose environment design and restructure your surroundings to make good choices easy. Or start with the non-negotiable anchor and build 1 unbreakable habit. Master 1 habit completely, prove to yourself it works, then add the next. This gradual approach builds real discipline that lasts rather than temporary motivation that fades. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be isn't willpower. It's systems, it's habits. It's understanding that discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do hard things. It's about making the right things easy through intelligent design of your life, environment, and routines. Right now, write in the comments which of these 7 habits you're going to implement first. Be specific. If this video revealed the truth about how discipline really works, hit that like button and subscribe for more strategies to master your life. Share this with someone who thinks they lack discipline. They don't lack discipline, they lack the right systems. These 7 habits are those systems. Master them, and you'll master your life. Not through superhuman willpower, but through intelligent design that makes discipline feel natural. Your disciplined life starts with the first habit you choose today.